In the wake of a disaster, such as a hurricane, there's an immediate change in the scarcity conditions, and that's reflected in higher prices for goods and services. Say a family of four, let me use one example, a family of four sees their home damaged or destroyed. Now, before disaster prices, they, let's say a mother and wife, a mother and father, they'll take their two children to a hotel and they say, look, let's rent 2 rooms so the kids can watch all that nonsense on TV and we can rest in peace. Then they get to the hotel and find that prices have doubled or tripled. Then what will they do? They say, well, those kids just won't turn on the damn TV, and or we'll all live in one room together. Now, what does that do? That makes a room available for somebody else who does not have a place to live. So higher prices give people incentive to economize on scarce resources. Another example, using the Florida Hurricane Andrew disaster, windfall profits played a vital, though unappreciated, role. Plywood, destined to the Midwest, the West, and the Northeast, suddenly was rerouted to South Florida. Lumber mills increased production. Truckers and other workers worked overtime so as to increase the availability of plywood and other construction material to Florida. Why? Because plywood prices doubled, and they were able to make a huge profit if they would send their plywood to Florida. Now, rising plywood prices meant other things. All that plywood headed south meant that plywood prices rose in other locations, thus discouraging lower valued uses for plywood, such as home improvement. For example, just imagine, I live in Valley Forge, and let's imagine, there's a hurricane and plywood's going down to Florida, and let's say I decide to build my dog a house, and I go to the plywood place, and I say plywood prices are double. I say, damn the dog. Heck with the dog, let him sleep outside some more. Now, that decision was in the social interest. That is, which is more valuable, making plywood available for people to repair homes or building a doghouse for a dog? I would say the former. Although if you see some people, you would probably say the latter. Now, what caused these market participants to do what was in the social interest? Namely, sacrifice or postpone alternative uses for plywood. The answer to this question reveals the most wonderful feature of the market and this process. Rising prices and opportunities for higher profits encouraged people to do voluntarily what was in the social interest, help their fellow man to recover from a disaster. Let me just at this juncture, because if I don't tell you these things, you're going to live the rest of your life not knowing them. At this juncture, let me just say a few words about something that has become very popular in today's America, or in today's world, about corporations and entrepreneurs. And that is called corporate social responsibility. Now, do corporations have a social responsibility? Yes, they do. And Nobel laureate Professor Milton Friedman put it best in 1970 in an article when he said, and I quote, "In a free society, there's one and only one responsibility of business, and that is to use its resources and engage in activities designed to increase its profits, as long as it stays within the rules of the game, which is to say, engages in open and free competition without deception and fraud.